Off, as its name so pointedly implies, is a deeply weird RPG. The baseball bat wielding protagonist is no nonsense, almost entirely void of any personality. The first encounter is with a scraggly cat whose flowery prose and advanced vocabulary had me searching for a dictionary. And classic RPG elements such as fire and ice are replaced with manufactured creations like metal, plastic, and sugar. Yet, Off's unabashed willingness to be strange is what made me enjoy it so much. Underneath its whimsical surface lies a dark story filled with allegories and misdirection that hooked me from the very beginning and had me scouring the internet for theories about its characters and events long after I rolled credits. There are certainly signs of being dated. It was originally released in 2008 after all, but Off is a fantastic adventure that is still well worth experiencing. 17 years ago, long before the term indie game was popular, a few friends from Belgium created Off as a fun side project using RPG Maker 2003. Originally posted on the French forums of RPG Maker's website, it would garner a cult following that reached a fervor after an English fan translation was released 3 years later. It was the sixth most reblogged game on Tumblr in 2013, ahead of behemoths like Skyrim and League of Legends. It was even a major inspiration for Toby Fox when developing Undertale. It has, undoubtedly, had a large cultural impact in the gaming sphere, and yet, I had never heard of Off. Maybe this is because its name makes it nearly impossible to search for and find good results. More likely, it's because the only way someone could play Off has been through unofficial versions posted to forums or itch.io. Until now. This remake features several updates, including pillar art to fill out a modern aspect ratio, revamped combat, new bosses, and a new soundtrack featuring the likes of Toby Fox. I've never played any previous versions of Off, so I can't speak about how transformative these changes are. However, I want to highlight what I believe is the most significant aspect of this release. It is on Steam. This exposes it to a massive audience of people who, like myself, have likely never heard of Off, and they are in for a treat. It didn't take me long to see how this inspired games such as Undertale. The art is simple, and characters are represented through crude black and white drawings, but there is this inexplicable allure, a feeling of comfort almost, that immediately pulled me in. Off opens with you taking control of a human known as the Batter, the protagonist of this adventure. You are introduced to the Judge, a peculiar cat with an elaborate lexicon and tongue-in-cheek tone. It's explained that you, the player, are a part of the story, in control of the Batter to aid him on his sacred journey to purify the world. The first area, Zone 0, serves as a tutorial. The Judge walked me through the basics of combat. It is effectively the turn-based active time battle system that Final Fantasy popularized. Each character has a cooldown between turns, indicated by a gauge that fills in real time. The Batter features the standard RPG moveset, attack, defend, and competencies, Off's equivalent to special attacks or spells that require using a limited CP. Off does riff on this formula in two novel ways though. First, you can see the enemy's gauges, allowing you to plan around their attacks by defending when one is imminent. Second, critical hits are telegraphed. Your cooldown timer will glow and fill up faster, indicating that your next move will be more powerful. This is a nice twist, and I appreciated knowing when a crit was coming so I could use my strongest attacking abilities. This zone also introduces another important aspect of Off, its puzzles. Several of these involve observing or deciphering a code to be entered into an abstract keypad. Many are simple and don't involve much more than memorizing a number displayed on a wall or sign, but several are fairly involved and fun to solve. They do an excellent job pacing out story events without strictly relying on combat. In the next zone, both the gameplay and story open up. You quickly find a combat ring called an add-on, which is effectively a new party member with different competencies for use in battle. As you progress through this realm, you'll learn about the major elements like smoke, metal, and plastic, while taking out the spectral creatures terrorizing the inhabitants. These moments efficiently establish the bizarre world I was purifying, while introducing me to some of the major characters involved. With the weirdness came a lot of questions, but this is what kept me intrigued and engaged as I pressed forward to find the answers. As a remake of a 17-year-old RPG Maker game, it's probably no surprise that Off feels pretty dated. Even with simple art that has aged relatively well, the game looks and feels like it is from the bygone Flash game era. Combat and systems follow the old school Final Fantasy formula very closely. I would go as far as to say too closely. The special moves and spells are all immediately recognizable, even if the elements and debuffs have different names that better align with Off's bizarre world. And of course, there are random encounters, which are particularly frustrating when exploring to find Off's many secrets and hidden items. The batter and add-ons level up fairly quickly, learning a nice variety of abilities along the way. This enables new strategies as you progress, although once I found a rotation I liked, it didn't change much from fight to fight, causing the random encounters to get repetitive quickly. The boss battles, on the other hand, are excellent. They are so creatively designed, each featuring original moves with animations that fill the screen and unique mechanics that force me to reevaluate my approach. They hit hard and are fairly tanky as well, pushing me to think critically about how I manage CP and when to use items. While combat felt very familiar, the story was anything but, and that's where the real strength of Off lies. It starts with the dialogue, which is often incredibly funny. It doesn't deliver laughs through jokes and punchlines. Rather, it leverages dramatic tone shifts to highlight the hilarious absurdity of Off's world and its characters. For example, the batter may respond to an earnest, long-winded plea for help with a terse one-word response, underscoring his singular focus on purifying this world. This should have made me dislike the batter, but the comedic timing was executed so well that I found myself chuckling every time it happened. Off isn't always a feel-good romp, though. Hidden behind the humor is a mysterious story with a few dark and dramatic turns. Early on, I was given little information to go on. Spectral creatures are terrorizing the humans of this world, and the batter is here to purify them. I soon began to learn about the Queen and her guardians, whom she has commanded to rule the various realms you'll visit. The batter's mission to eliminate them always implied that their intentions were malevolent, but it was never clarified why. In fact, most of the time I discovered new information, I felt like I had more questions than answers. However, despite the abstract nature of much of the story, it all comes together in the end with a satisfying and dramatic conclusion. Off never fully explains itself, but that's one of the things I appreciated about the narrative. Even after seeing all the endings, which took roughly 6 hours, I still had my own theories and uncertainties. Immediately after rolling credits, I opened a browser to see what the internet thought about the events that transpired, and I spent hours combing through years of inspired discourse. It felt like I was being admitted to this vibrant community that has existed for well over a decade, finally able to share in their appreciation for a game I may never have realized existed without this remake. I really enjoyed my time with Off. The narrative design is excellent, with intriguing characters, a unique world, a great sense of humor, and dramatic twists that kept me on the edge of my seat. As a fan of Undertale, it's amazing to see how much DNA it shares with Off, especially knowing Off's original release happened 6 years prior. It certainly shows its age, especially with random encounters and dated RPG combat and systems, but interesting boss fights do just enough to keep the moments between story beats entertaining. It's a unique RPG that I think all fans of the genre will find something in it to appreciate. And if you're a fan of Toby Fox's work, you absolutely owe it to yourself to check out such a vital piece of his inspiration. Thank you for watching. I'm a partnered creator with Minimap, who's kind enough to provide me with the code for this review. Minimap is the ultimate gaming app. It allows you to track all of your games and achievements in one place thanks to its Game Sync feature that works with PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, and Steam. You can also share updates and reviews with a small but passionate and growing community. I'm a data nerd, so I love everything Minimap allows me to track, like what systems I own a game on and total hours played. And I've discovered so many great games through reading community posts and reviews. This isn't a paid advertisement, I just really like the Minimap app and community and want to see it grow. So if you are interested, check out the link in the description. And to see more of my game reviews, please subscribe. Okay, thank you, bye!